Is it good now? Can anybody confirm? Okay, great. Thank you. And I'm really sorry for this interruption. I hope everything is good now. Okay, give me a second. I'm sharing my screen as well. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Okay. Uh, okay, I hope I am audible well enough, and even you can see myself and my screen both. Please confirm, guys, if all is good. You can put down in the chat and I can see your chat. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. There is something. Okay, all good. Fine. Thank you. So before starting the today's session, let's just quickly do a recap, and I let's test what we have done yesterday. So I have a one quick question for you, and the question is: suppose you are using this insurance premium calculator application. So this could be an example of what? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service. So let's answer this question. A lot of people are saying SaaS. Vivek is saying SaaS. Someshwar is saying SaaS. Voiceover SaaS. Okay, great, guys. So yes, perfectly. This is an example of SaaS. No, somebody says pass as well. So this is not pass. This is SaaS. So here you have one software or a one application which you are using directly. You don't care about where exactly this is installed, what is the Linux machine, or whether it is a Windows machine or anything. So you don't care about the underlying hardware. So it is not IaaS. Now secondly, you are not installing anything, you are not putting any code or anything or running your runtime environment. So it is also not a platform as a service. So lastly, the option left is software as a service, where you just use the application without even having any technical background around it. Okay, so great, guys. I hope you understand well the differences between all these three different types of services. So let's move forward for with the today's session. So we're starting now with the Azure. Yesterday's session, we were talking more around the cloud computing. What is the cloud computing? The advantages, disadvantages, models, services, etc. We discussed about the cloud computing. So if you are joining today and you have missed the previous session, after the session, go back to that and just watch it. Now we have basically three different platforms. Okay, the majorly cloud platform. One is AWS, that is Amazon Warehouse. Second one we have Azure, and third one we have Google Cloud Platform. So in all of them, basically I'm sorry, the screen is blur. Somebody saying, I hope this you able to see or you are not. Sorry guys for this interruption. Can anybody just confirm all good or not? I don't know. I assume all is good. Okay, thank you. So the third one is a Google Cloud. So these three cloud are famous in the market. It is not like that these are the only three cloud platforms. We have a DigitalOcean, we have a cloud from the Oracle, we have the cloud from the Alibaba or something. So there are multiple cloud is there. So out of that, AWS started quite early. So AWS has a big market, but it started early, so now it is in the saturation mode. And then now the cloud which is in demand and which is having highest job at this moment, I feel, is in the Microsoft Azure. So it has its own reason. So one of the reason is like Microsoft has already lot of penetration in the market. They have their Windows, they have their Microsoft Office, Dynamics 365, many SQL server. So many Microsoft products is already there. So they already have their own pipeline. So for selling a new product to their customers, it's quite easy for them because they will provide a better integration with all those services. So that's why I feel like now the demand is growing so much into the Azure side. Okay, so that was about the Azure. Now, what this Azure cloud platform is? So cloud platform is nothing but it provides you a lot of services. So whether it could be a storage service, it could be a virtual machine, virtual desk, your AI, mobile, different types of services are there. So all those services, you get it over the cloud. The list of the services keep on increasing day by day. At the moment it is more than 100 somewhere. Okay, so whatever be the need of any IT industry, all those needs is scattered by the Azure. Let's say for example, if you are running a project in .NET and you need server, you can get it from cloud. If you are having a big data analytics, you are doing, you get the big data clusters from the cloud. If you are doing something on AI or ML, you get those kind of services from the Azure. Or maybe if you are doing something in the blockchain or something and you need those services, you will get that as well. So overall the idea is that they provide each and every services for almost all different variety of the fields within the IT industry. Okay, so we don't need to learn all those services. We need to learn very few services which is relevant to your profile. Okay. Now moving on, when we start with the Azure, um, you first need to create a one account. So you can create a free account. So generally, when you go for a free account, you have to uh, give your all details and there's some credit card information to just verify your details. Okay, generally Azure is a pay as you go model. So like once your trial get over, you have to pay for whatever be the services you are using it. Okay, few services it says that it's free for 12 months, and you also get like $200 once you create your trial account, and this $200 will remain in your account for 1 month only. So if you use any paid services, then the amount get deducted from this, and you don't have to pay anything for this 1 month. After that it get automatically disabled. Okay, and then it will ask you to enable it, and then only you will start using paid services. Okay, worst case, if you feel that 30 days is not enough time and I don't want to pay as well, you can make a multiple accounts. Probably you need to use multiple credit cards. So what, make a one account 1 month, make another account second month, like that you can go ahead and do it. Third thing is there is a student account as well. So maybe a lot of you might not able to create this student account. So student account needed a .edu educational email ID. So this is a student partner program Microsoft runs. So if you get this kind of an ID and you can create a student account through the Azure, The good thing is that you get a free service for 1 year, and you get $100 credit, which is not just for a 1 month, but that is for entire year. So you can spend that $100 within 1 year. So you get a little bandwidth to learn everything on free. Still, I think even when you go ahead and use your services just for your testing purpose, it ideally should not charge you much if you use it carefully. I feel $10 a month would be a good enough cost. Okay, if you are using it in a well manner. Okay, $10-20 per month it will take. So maybe, let's say for example, you learn for 2 months, 3 months, hardly you will have to pay like $50-60 maximum. That's what I feel. If you use it correctly, that's the only the part here. Okay, if you are not using it in a well conscious manner, you may end up with paying so much. Okay, I will let you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can go ahead and make your free account. Once you make a free account, how you can access the Azure. So there are multiple ways in which Azure can be accessed. The first and the most popular way is through the Azure portal. So you get a one website, you go there, you log in, and you can do all those activities from this website. Okay, sometimes this is not good enough. Okay, and you wanted to do through the programmatically, or in a scriptive manner. So you can use the Azure command line interface, that is a CLI or Cloud Shell. So through that also you can run the command and you can connect to the Microsoft Azure. So this is basically for the folks who are basically from the DevOps team or the network admin team. So those people uh, generally use the shell commands or the CLIs. So you can write your command in the PowerShell or in the Bash mode. It's up to you. Lastly, you can also access through the Azure mobile app. Generally, a mobile app, you don't use mobile app for creating the resources and etc. It is just good for doing the uh, good for the your monitoring purpose. So you monitor all your services and etc. on the go through this mobile apps. So now let me quickly take you to the Azure portal and show you what we can do. So this is basically my Azure portal. So this is my Azure website, you can say. Once you make your account and your trial account is ready and you are going to use it, so you will end up on this page. So that website URL is portal.azure.com. Okay, on the left hand side you will see your email ID, the name which you registered. So and you see this default directory. We'll talk about directories but not at this point. Okay, then you will see few other things, like you, if you want to give feedback, you can give it from here. You have support, troubleshooting. If you want to do some settings like language settings and etc., you can check it from here. Okay, then you have this notification. If you have any notification pending in, you can pull it out from here and you can check it. You want to change your directories or subscription, you can do it from here. But as we have not discussed about the subscription yet, so leave it. I In few minutes we'll talk about this. And lastly, you also have this Cloud Shell. So this is like, you use a portal.azure.com and even you want to run something through the command line. So what you can do is you can open up a command, Cloud Shell. So you get your command prompt in the cloud itself. So this is a Cloud Shell. You can come here and you can start writing your commands here to connect to an Azure world. So that can also be done. This is the first time I'm doing in this subscription, so it is asking me to create some storage etc. It will take a while, so leave it. Okay, so now I got this command shell open up and I can type in whatever the queries or the script I want to write in this terminal. Okay, even you can use PowerShell or you can use the Bash mode. So it's up to you which mode you want to use. Okay, I'm closing it down. Secondly, when you come to this portal, what you can do is here on this dotted lines, you will see here all those different services which you can do. You get this option, create resource. If you want to create any resource directly, you can come down to this create resource, and you can see all those options of creating. If you want to create a virtual machine, you go to the virtual machine. If you want to create function app, you go there. If you want to create SQL database, you go there. And then step by step we can do it. So in today's session we will see anyways how we will create this virtual machine. Let me cover some concept, and then we'll come back in today's session to create virtual machines, and I'll show you how you can make a connection to them as well. Okay. Even what you can do is you can come here and you can search for the services like this, and you can directly go to those services. So that is also possible. So even you can search from here any machine, any storage account, whatever you have created, you can search everything from the screen, and everything is searchable here on. Recent will shows what are the recent actions I have taken up. So when you do it at your end, it will be completely I would say it will completely a empty one, because you will have a recent account. Okay. So that was for this recent type. So that's a very high level overview of it. Let's go down, understand some concept, and then we'll come back again on this portal to understand it more. Okay. So let me take you again. So once you create an Azure account, basically there is hierarchy got created. Okay. If you look at this hierarchy, this is like an Azure management group, subscription, resource group, and etc. So let me just go down there and show you what are those. Give me a second. Okay. So I'm coming to my notepad. So you have seen that we have 4 5 things here. I again show you the management group, the subscription, resource group, and the resources. So let me just take it here. Give me a second, guys. This is opening up. So the first and the foremost level in the hierarchy of this Azure is the management group. Okay. Okay. So here we have this management group. So generally, ideally, if we go ahead and create you when you go ahead and you create your account, basically an account got created and you get one subscription. Okay. So I'm sorry. Okay. So you get a subscription. So what is subscription? A subscription in the Azure is the way to monitor all your services, and like what is the costing it is coming on. So the whole sole purpose of this um, subscription is mainly for managing the cost. So what happens is you think it from the not from individual perspective. Now think from the organization perspective, a bigger perspective. Let's say for example a JP Morgan, Credit Suisse, or a Bank of America, a big company. So think from their perspective. What happens? They go ahead and they make a one account in the Azure, and they have to manage everything within their entire organization. So how they can do it? So what they generally do is um, in Azure you go ahead and you create the subscription. So by default you cannot be able to create or do anything into the Azure if you don't have the active subscription. So you create a subscription by default. When you as an individual create an account, you get a free trial subscription. Okay. So you make all your resources under this free trial. Okay. So if I take you here again on this portal, if you go down here and go to my subscriptions. Okay. So this is my subscriptions. It'll take a while to open up. So now you can see that I have earlier I have multiple subscriptions. So now this one is the subscription which is an active one. Okay, you can see that I had this Visual Studio subscription which charges me around 11,000 something. Okay, and now it is disabled. So basically, subscription has the main thing which is associated is the cost. So what we do is like whenever you create a resource, at that time it will ask you to whom I should charge or under which account I go and charge the cost for it. So that's why you create the subscription. Now you will say why we need it. So as I said, for a bigger organization this is mandatory, because assume that you have a company and this company has a five different teams. Okay, one is operations, one is HR, one is the analytics team, one is sales team, etc. So what they have to do is like one team is using some resources, another team is using some another resources, and we have to give the budget to each and every one according to their needs. So how we can do it? We can create, so company will create a five subscription, and this subscription will go to a different teams. Okay, so let's say team 1 have their own subscription, team 2 have their own subscription, like that. So all those costs will go inside their own, so you can manage those costs. So secondly, if you have to give some access rights and some specific thing at a team level, you could do it, give the as you the rights, access rights, permissions, etc. at this subscription level. Okay, even when we talk about a much bigger organization, so what there they can do is they can have a management group. So like this is a one management group. Similarly, they can have another hierarchy within a one group itself. Okay, so let's say we're talking about Bank of America, so they have a five different regions. Okay, maybe, so they have one office in US, one office in India, one office in Singapore, like that. So for Singapore team, they have created one management group because all the management of that will happen from the Singapore. One management group is for the India location, one management group for the US location, and in that, let's say we have in the Indian management group, then in India they are to have a multiple teams. So for their multiple teams, they create a multiple subscription, like that. So this chaining will gonna happen. So at the top level, you could have a management group. Generally, for an individual free accounts, etc., you don't need anything. It's just like for understanding purpose we are talking about. So you can have a management group, then you can have subscription, and under the subscription we'll have some more resources and etc. So this is we were talking about at a very high level. Now this is like a second level, and now we tear it down to the lower level. So then we come to this resource group. So you could think of it like uh, you can say it like practice level or a very top level. Then this could be at a, you can think of it like team level probably. And then lastly, this could be at a very project level or a very specific environment level. Okay, so why I'm talking about this, let's understand. So assume that you got a one subscription. Okay, now you have to create a virtual machine. Now this virtual machine, you need virtual machine, you need storage account, you need a key vault, etc. You need 4 5 different services which is specifically there for your development environment. Similarly, you need the same number of services for your production environment, maybe. Okay, so how you will group them all together? So this resource group is basically is nothing but a logical grouping of the resources. So you can see that here, this resource group will have this resource, this resource group is containing this only, and this contain only this one. So in Azure world, you could have two things. You could either have a resource, either you could have a services. So services is basically virtual machine is also you could call it a resource, or you could call it a virtual machine service. Okay, so when we say resource or service, you imagine we are talking about the the service you getting. Okay, so whether you create a SQL server, whether you create a virtual machine or anything, all those will come under this resources only. Okay, so whatever you create, you will want to put into a one logical bag. So this resource group is nothing but it is that logical group. Okay, so what I'll do is I will say, okay, this will be my development environment group, this is my production one, this could be my test environment one, right? So some, if I go ahead and I delete simply this one resource group, then all the resources under that will go deleted. If I delete this one, then entire resources under that will get deleted. Okay, so resource group is basically used for logical grouping. You could do the logical grouping based on the different teams, but different environment, different project, or anything, it's up to you, there is no hard rule. Ideally you just go ahead and can do it. So this is the hierarchy: subscription to identify the pricing or costing, and whatever be the resource. Now let's say for example for this virtual machine which is here, whatever be the charge come, this will be billed against this subscription. For creating this SQL server, again this is under this subscription, so bill will have to be paid by this subscription owner. Okay, for this function or creation, this is the uh, subscription which has to pay the cost. So all these resources will not coming under it, so this SQL server or anything does not have to pay by this second subscription but by only the first subscription. So that's the basic logic of having a multiple division by subscription and resource group. Okay, let's come back to our uh, PPT again. So now let's talk about the physical infrastructure. So far we were talking about almost everything in the air. Now I say, okay, give me a storage account, give me virtual machine. How exactly this happens? Who the hell is one who is going giving me, and where exactly all this resides in the cloud? So ideally there is nothing as such that it's in the cloud. What happens is Azure created multiple data centers. Okay, they created multiple servers. They have multiple hard disks, etc. Everything is allocated somewhere in the some physical location. Okay, and whenever you ask, I need virtual machine, they will give you access from there. You say my data gets stored in the cloud, so eventually it's in the cloud, you look like logically, but end of the day it has to be stored in somewhere in the disk, right? Which is, that disk is nothing, it's in the data center of the Azure. Okay, so you need a physical infrastructure. So we don't care about it, but let's, for understanding purpose, let's go deep down and see what is this physical infrastructure. So the physical infrastructure get divided into a very logical combination. The term which you heard is the region. So first of all, you define a region. So in the Microsoft Azure, we have a region. Region is nothing but a geographical area. Okay. So let's say I say I need something, some data center I have in India. So I call it as a India region. I have it in the US East. So I will call it as a US East region. I have in the US West. So I call it a US West. I have in a Singapore. I have in a Middle East, etc. So what it does is Azure has basically, I'll just take one slide ahead and show you. So this is basically a region. So all the dots you see is nothing but a region spread across the globe. So based on the usage of the users and based on the traffic, etc., Azure has created these many number of regions. Okay, you can see that these regions are allocated at different places, and still you see some dotted one. So this is not exactly created yet, but it is like announced one. So sooner we will have a region in this area as well. So they are expanding it, but at the moment these are the regions. Okay, so at a very high level, based on the geography, they have divided the into a region, and the data center will lies in that specific area. The idea of region is that it should, two regions are very far apart. Okay, it should be a very good distance, so that like if something happens in one area, it could not get affect the other area, like that. Secondly, the good thing is that whenever you create any service, say storage account you want to create, you create a virtual machine, you create a application, anything, you have an option to choose the uh, region. So as yesterday we were talking about network latency, right? If you remember, guys. So if my users are in the US, I probably wanted to have my server in the US location, right? So that could be possible when I go ahead and I create a server. In that, I will choose the region. I will choose the region as US. So in that case, my server get allocated in the US area or in the US region. Okay. So that's why whenever you create any service, Azure is smartly asking you the region in which region this should get allocated. Beside this, Azure has also created few specific or special region. Like, let's say for example, Azure has to sell their services to government. Now government does not want to be into the public cloud kind of, or they don't want to be in something which is like where their data cannot be safe. Okay. So for those cases, Azure has partnered with the government and created a specific region for the government itself. So all the government data can reside in that region, and that region is for the government applications only, like that. So for these are the some special regions also created by the Microsoft Azure. So at a high level, this is the region. Now we are going little down now. Okay. So high level, we divided into terms of a geography, that is the region. Okay. Now next thing come is the availability zone. So now what is availability zone is basically in one region, you have a multiple availability zone. Okay. Now what this availability zone, you think of it like if you are in India. Okay. So if India is my region, I could have a one machine in the Bangalore. I could have one machine, one data center or a one availability zone in the India. Let's say in the Madhya Pradesh, one is in the Karnataka and one is in the Jammu Kashmir, maybe. Okay, so I can spread one region into a multiple availability zone. Generally, this availability zone is also a quite distance apart, couple of miles apart, so that like if something bad happens uh, in the let's say one region, it's a Karnataka region, so I can get my data from the Madhya Pradesh region or the Jammu Kashmir region, like that. So to mitigate that risk, they have created the multiple availability zones. Okay, and your data is resides in that multiple availability zone. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so and there is a need that there are generally a minimum three zones within a single region. So whenever Microsoft build a region, it tries to have these three different zones at least in a one region. Also this availability zone is nothing but eventually these are the data centers only. So exactly, there is a data center where you will see all the racks. In the racks there are servers and etc. So that made up a availability zone. Idea is all these availability zones have a at different places they are created, so they have a different power, they have a different maintenance, so all those things they have a different. So if power failure also happens at one availability zone, we could have it up and running services from the different availability zone. Okay, so that's the basic idea of the availability zone. And in one availability zone you could have a multiple data centers. So let me just take you to this, and you will uh, this is Azure reason. I'm sorry, there is one slide on this that got missed somewhere. Okay. Anyways, so you here you can see that yeah, this one is the slide. So here you can see inside the region you have these three different availability zone. So all this zone is what, like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and all these three zone is interconnected to each other. Okay, so that's how we started with the region, then we go down to the availability zone, and in the availability zone actually we have our data centers and where exactly your services, your data, all those lies here. And as I said, there is a minimum three availability zone is there in every region, and all these three can connect with each other with very high speed lines, so that data transfers or the communication between these three availability zone should be very very fast. Okay, so there is a dedicated high speed connections as well between these availability zones. Moving to the next thing, that is the region pair. Okay, we talk about region, we talk about the availability zone, then there is a region pair. So region pair is something like that is an another risk avoiding thing. So what you can do is you can have a region pair. So let's say for example, you have a US region. In the US we have a US East, we have US West. Okay, so in that case we have a two region in the US East, US West. Now what happens is your data is still in the US. Okay, but US East and US West is quite far away. So if something bad happens in this entire region itself, you can pair it up with another region in the same geography or in the same country, so that uh, you might have a compliance issue. Just think from the banking perspective or some insurance company perspective. They have their norms. In India we don't care about the data security and all, but if we talk about the European countries or the US countries, the data is very critical part. They have their own policies defined around it. So let's say Europe has a problem that their data should not get move out of the Europe in any case. Okay, so that is the basic compliances the company has to deal with, every company. Okay, now what they can do is they can have a two different so Azure, what Azure has done, Azure has created two different region. One is UK South, one is UK North. Okay, now what happens is in this UK South and UK North or UK West, if something bad happens in this UK South region, we can get it from the UK West region. Okay, and I'm not talking about availability zone. I'm talking about the region itself. Okay, these are very far away. Every region will have a three different availability zone within it, so that also get covered up into a one geography. So still your data will be safe with two regions, and those region is still within the geographical boundary. So you don't have to have a problem of like moving the data out of this specific country. Okay, so if you look at it, this it look like this. So basically one, the left hand side the one region and right hand side is the another region, and both these region are connected together, and every region individually will have this three different availability zone. The idea of this region pair is again to mitigate the risk, like in case of something bad happens up or anything, this still can go ahead and get the data from another region with the region pair, and all this is still lies within the same geography, within the same country, within the same boundary. Okay, so that's how we can have a further more one level of mitigation to reduce down the risk of the failures of the services. Now it's time for the quiz. Let's We have gone through that. Let's understand. Let's check whether you have understand all the concept or not. Tell me what is the answer for this question quickly. So we already seen the resource group, and on that this question. So you can tell me the answer. Okay. How many resource group can a resource be in at the same time? Guys who say that there is no limit, you have to check again. It has to resides in one resource group. So the answer basically is the one resource group. Let me just show you the diagram again quickly. This was the diagram, right? So if this virtual machine now lies in this resource group or in this resource group also, then who will going to pay the price, right? So they cannot afford to have in the multiple resource group. Eventually all your resource will belong to just one resource group. So when you say no limit, it is not that. In one resource group, you could have a multiple resources, but the question here is, this resource, either SQL server, either application, either virtual machine, they can belong to only one resource group. You cannot assign it to multiple resource group. Okay, so you check back again. A lot of people are still saying many no limit. It is not like that. Okay, one resource group can have a multiple resources. There is no limit, but one resource can belong to only one uh, resource group. So you think of like parent child relationship here. Resource group is parent and child is resources. So child can belongs to one parent only. They cannot have a multiple parents, but parent can have multiple child. Okay, so that is the hierarchy. Okay, go to the next question. Can we create resources within availability zone without using any specific region? Read it again and then answer. Can we create resource within an availability zone without using any specific reason? Lot of people saying false. Nemisha saying false. Vijita saying false. Raja, Hardik, Adarsh. Lot of people is saying this is false. Great guys. So the answer is can we create resource within an availability? This is false because again here also again the same parent child relationship comes in. Availability zone is actually is within the region. So wherever you create the resources, it will eventually land up with a specific region only. So it could not be possible that you can just only define an availability zone without defining the region, because your availability zone is within the region only. I'll just go back again and show you. So it's like that. Your availability region is within the, sorry, your AZ, that is availability zone, is within the region only. Okay, so you cannot have a liberty to go ahead and create on directly in the availability zone without region, right? Okay, great guys. So I hope most of you are getting the concept now. Great. So coming back to our next section of this course is this lab. So now here we go ahead and we'll see how you can go ahead and create your first virtual machine. So far we just talked about all those concepts and theory. Let's go ahead and do some practicals now. Now how you could go ahead and create the virtual machines and how you can take the advantage of the cloud first time ever. Okay, so let me take you there. So come down to this portal.azure.com. We want to create the virtual machine. Okay, so either there are two ways. Either you come here, go to this virtual machines, and you will see this screen. There are few machines I already created, but you can click on create here and you can go ahead and create the virtual machine. That is the one way. Okay, search here and go forward. Another way of going to this creation page would be click on this create a resource, and in this resource you will see all those different combinations. So from here also you will see this virtual machine. You go ahead and it will also take you to the same screen of creation. Okay, so it's up to you from where exactly you want to create. It's your choice. I generally prefer to do it from here because to me it sounds very quick. So I go ahead and do like this. Search virtual machine, you will get it. Now here you will see all the existing one as well, and you can create a new one. So click on this create. Go ahead, simple, create Azure virtual machine. Okay, now you might be seeing this first ever time of creating a resources. So whenever you create any resource in the Azure world, few things is common, like you always get subscription. Okay, so you see here that I was talking about, when you create resources, subscription decides who will going to pay for this, right? So now if I had a multiple subscription, assume it, I'm a part of a multiple teams. I am a technical architect. I'm a part of multiple teams. Okay. And I'm doing some POC. So for that, I have to go ahead and create one resource. Now, to which team this cost will going to occur? So I have a multiple subscription. Out of that, for that specific team, I'll select a specific subscription. So now whatever be the resource I create and whatever be the cost comes in, this cost will be paid by actually no one but this subscription, by this whoever is owning this subscription. That is Azure Fix 3. Okay. Second thing, we have seen that in the diagram that you have a subscription, under that you need to create a resource group, right? So you have need to create that logical bag where your resources lies. So either you can use the existing resource group, I have couple of them, or else I can go ahead and create a new resource group. Okay. So I create a new resource group for you, and we call it like Mission Azure Fundamental. Okay. So this is my a new resource group got created. Okay. There is no nothing like that. Resource group cannot be same. The name which I have taken, you can also take it because this is local to my account. Okay. So resource group name can be taken by anyone. There is no problem as such. Okay. Similarly, virtual machine, you can go ahead and give any name, whatever you like it. We'll say it demo one. Okay, so this is my virtual machine name. You can give anything, it's fine. Okay, going forward, when we go to some other services, you will see that it has to be unique and etc. So there are a lot of restrictions out there. We'll talk about them as and when they come, but here you can give as per your choice. Okay. Now, again, we talked about the next important aspect is the region. Here you can see the option region. So you have the choice to select exactly in which geography you want to create. Let's say I want to create in India. So I have a region in the South India, I have a region in the West India as well. So I can pick up anything. Okay, if I want to go ahead and use it in the India region. Okay. Although I don't want to discuss here. Okay, leave this option empty. We'll talk about this after this lab. Okay, availability option. So there are multiple ways uh, through that we can create redundancy or the copies. Okay, so we'll talk about it. I'm not keeping talking here. So there could be three different types, but we'll talk later on. Okay. For now, you just select a no infrastructure redundancy. So you don't want to create any copy. This is just a one copy you want to create. Okay. Next option it will ask me is security type. So there are different versions. It could be a standard security level, or you could have a little high security through this trusted launch virtual machine. And another one is this confidential one, which is in preview. So for now, standard one is fine. We don't worry about it that much. Okay, because we are not creating any mission critical or a, a very sensitive information on this server. So for us, standard is fine, good enough. Now here comes the second important part of this entire exercise is the image. So image is what? The operating system decision. You said you I'm going to create a virtual machine, whether it could be Linux machine, Windows machine. If it is Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 10, Windows Server, there are different versions out there. Similarly, with the Ubuntu, Linux, all those Fedora, the different operating system out there. So, which one will you want to create? Based on your need, you get all these options. So you can click on this, see all images. Okay, the moment you click on this see all images, what it will do is it will take you to the all the possible options available to you. Okay, so this is Azure Marketplace. Okay, so in the marketplace you see couple of things free and couple of things chargeable. Marketplace is nothing, as you know, any marketplace, a lot of people has built their own services and they are selling it. So you will see all of them here. Okay, so you want to use Windows Server, you want to use Windows 10, 11, whatever you want to go, you select it. Okay. You select the version and you can go forward and create it. So for us, let's pick the Windows machine. Okay. So I pick this machine up. Okay. So now you can see that. Okay, now the problem with me is this specific is not available in this region. Okay, no problem. Let me just change down the region. uh, One spoiler here: in some region which is newly created, there are few limitations out there, okay, from the Azure sites. Like some services are available in some region and some services are not available, okay. So to avoid that, let's pick up the most common server which we have is central US, okay. So mostly all the services is available here. Now select the, let me select this Windows machine here, okay. This image, okay, this image is available, so I have selected Windows 10 version. So I will create a virtual machine which is having the Windows 10 installed on it, okay. Now it is asking me, okay, now it's saying that central US is not available for my subscription, okay. So sometimes this happens, but that's fine. Let me just quickly change my subscription again. Let me type in East US, okay. Now it is allowing me, okay. Now the next important thing which you have to select, so I have not done any magic, I'll just repeat what I have done. Subscription, you select. In my case I have this, in your case it will be free trial account, so you will see free trial. Or if you move to the paid version, it will be pay as you go model, okay. Then you create a resource group, or you can use existing one. Give the name, select the region, keep it default. Security, keep it standard. Image, you will select which specific server you want to run. So Ubuntu or a Linux machine or a Windows machine, you select based according that. Then uh, spot instances, we'll talk about the spot instances after this, okay. I don't want to complicate the thing. Let's discuss. Spot instance is nothing in Azure. If it is charging you, let's say here you see 546 rupees per month, this is charge costing me this server. I could get it like at 50 rupees as well using this spot instance. So a spot instance is like when you need something for a temporary purpose, you can select this spot instances. So there are some freely available or a very cheap uh, service or the clusters available. You can get them, but there is no guarantee. It is like some up in the pool, okay, you get it. If Azure want it at any point of time, Azure can take it back from you without giving you much time to copy your data or anything, okay. So if you need something for temporary or very testing purpose, you could go ahead and choose the spot instances. The only problem with that, that this the access on this will automatically get revoked, okay. But if you use the standard one normal, then it will be there in your account until unless you yourself go ahead and stop it, okay. So this is the basic reason between the difference between the spot instances and the normal one, okay. If you have a very 5 minute 10 minute or 1 hour task, probably you could choose the spot instances, okay. But if you are running your application for a longer time, spot instances are not preferred, and for the production purpose this is not preferred at all, okay. So that is the spot instances. Now you can see here, you see capacity and etc. So don't get into it, this is fine. Now comes the second important part, is like the pricing, how much this will going to cost me, okay. So you click on this see all sizes, okay. So based on how many servers it has, virtual processors, RAM, memory, how much it is, you can keep on checking on the prices, okay. uh, it's not allowing, yeah, here you can see in the last you can see this cost, okay. So this is costing me 3000, 5000. This is INR because I'm from India and I have selected the currency as INR. Correspondingly, if you are from a different geography, you will see your currency, maybe USD or uh, pounds or anything, okay. So here you select, you see this cost, and based on the cost you could create a different machine, okay. So let me pick a very good machine, this core processor, 2 core processor, and 8 GB of a RAM. I want this. Okay, let me select that machine. So I selected this, cost me like 5,000 rupees a month. Okay, I'm not going to run it for an entire month. After this, our lab, I'm going to stop it. So then you think of it like I have to pay just only for 1 hour cost. So in a month, let's say if we have a 720 hours, so you could divide this by 720, and that much is costing us for this exercise. Okay, so this is, we don't have to pay for entire month. I will stop this by this lab, and then I have to pay for that only a small amount. Okay, then when you need to connect to any machine, you need username password. So you give your username password quickly. I have given one username and password. Okay, and let me just confirm it. Now my username password also I have given it. So I talked so much meanwhile, but we have not selected anything bigger. Okay, for creating virtual machine, subscription, resource group. You give name, you select region, you keep this default, you select the operating system, you selected the size, and then you give the username and password of your own, and rest all you keep it as it is. Inbound ports. So you can define the ports through which this server can be connected. By default, it's a window machine. So we have a RDP available. If I want to access this machine through HTTP, HTTPS, or SSH protocol, I can select all those as well. Okay. So all this way, I can go ahead and access my virtual machine. I'll confirm I have this, and then you move to the next tab. Here you can select the storage account or the disk type. So like you need a SSD disk, you need a normal standard SSD or a standard HDD. You know that premium SSD would be like faster one, right? So our SSD will get attached with this virtual machine. So it's like you buying a laptop, and then you are saying that okay, I need this type of hard disk. So it's like you're configuring or you're building your laptop machine. Okay, you select the encryption type, keep it default. That is for advanced purpose, not for this. Keep as it is. Go to the next networking. By default, it will create some network for you. You don't need to do anything in that for this introductory purpose. Keep everything as it is. It's all fine. You go to this management tab. This is also again, you don't need to do anything much here. Keep as it is default. Okay. All this is like an advanced or an admin or infrastructure level thing. Okay. So you don't have to go into it because you are not a Azure administrator. Okay. So that's fine. You go down to advanced tab. That is also you can keep as it is. Tags is something you give a key value, just like you put on some tag mark on the resources. So you can do that. It's a key value. So I will say like, let's say batch. Okay, so I want to know that which batch, for which batch I have used this virtual machine demo. So I said it, okay, for I've used this for Azure fundamental batch. Okay, maybe you could have a different environment. Okay, so you could say put it like this, let's say environment. So this is the one. Then you can say okay, environment. Okay, I know I use this for environment. So I'll say that this machine belongs to a dev environment. So whatever be the logical naming you or grouping you want to, or tagging you want to do, you can do it. This is optional. This is not at all mandatory. You can keep empty as well if you want. Okay, lastly, you go ahead and review plus create. So once you go ahead and do review plus create, it will take a while. Okay, and then it will create a machine for you. So all validations passed, you click on this create, and all will be good. It will take a while, maybe 3-4 minutes to create your machine. And once this will get over up, we will have our machine ready for connection. Okay, so that's how you can go ahead and create your virtual machine. We'll wait for a while for this virtual machine to get created. I hope, I mean, my voice, my video, and everything is visible. You can just put down in the chat and confirm. I haven't asked in between. Okay, I cannot see any chat. Okay, great. So all clear. Great, guys. So you can see that uh, there are multiple things got created. Meanwhile, like it's creating your IP address, NSD, etc. So let it get created. So that's fine. So once this will get created, we will have it up for connecting. So then I will show you how you can go ahead and connect it. That's so fast. That's so fast. Okay, go to the resource. Now you can see that our deployment is successful. Either I can click on this, go to the resource. This will take me to the resource directly here, or I can do it on the home screen. I go to this virtual machine. You type in here virtual machine again. Go to this virtual machine, and you will see the list of virtual machines. And here you will see this our demo one. Okay, so now this is my demo one. I go ahead and I can click on this demo one. So this will take me to the my basic screen of this resource. This is virtual machine. Okay. Whenever you create any resource, you get a lot of things. So all this left hand side scroll bar, if you see, there are few common services. Okay, common properties which will be there with every service, like overview, activity log, IAM, identity access management, tags. So in the tags you click and you will see the tag related to that. So you can see that we've created this for batch, Azure fundamental, development environment, like that. So all these few services are common and few are very specific to this uh, type of service. Okay, we'll discuss about them, but not this is not the right time. Okay, now this is my virtual machine. What you can do, you can directly connect, you can restart, you can stop, you can delete. Okay, so let's first, what we'll do is we'll click on connect. So when you see connect, you can either connect through a command prompt, that is SSH. You use the putty or a putty, whatever you call it, through that as well. Or you can connect through RDP. RDP is nothing but a remote desktop protocol. Okay, so just click on this RDP. Okay, so in RDP you generally go ahead and use your virtual machines in your or VPN, through VPN in your office, or Citrix machine if you ever use it. It's the same way like that. So I download this file, I click on this file again, open it up. It will ask me the username and password. So I will type in my username and password like this. Okay, so now if everything goes fine, this is the first time it will ask for validation certificate. And once you confirm it, if all goes fine, it will take you to your machine. So now you can see that we are inside our virtual machine. So that's how my machine got created, my machine got connected. So now, whatever be the configuration of my machine, my laptop doesn't matter now in any ways. What matters now is you can see that now everything will be driven by the configuration of this machine which we have created. Okay. So if it's a 8 GB of RAM, so my machine will run with that speed. Okay. It will take a while to start and all. So that's how you can go ahead and you can keep on creating the machines. I assume this is fine now. This will take a while and it will boot up again. So let it get boot up now. You accept all everything. Okay, and you will be at the desktop of that. Okay, and now whatever you wanted to do, you can do it. So now this is not my machine, we are inside the cloud. Okay, so this is a cloud machine. Now you can do whatever you wanted to do. Okay, if you need a very powerful machine for your practice or for your POC, you could have created like 16 GB RAM machine or something like that, and everything in that machine will run that fast. Okay, so that's all for at least for this. Now let's come back again here. So now my demo machine got created. Now ideally a good practice is I go ahead and I can delete this machine. Okay, so that I can reduce any cost which comes in. So as a best practice, as a for learning perspective, only for learning perspective, I again repeat that you create resource, you test it, you run, and go ahead and delete it to avoid any extra cost. Okay, so what I In case if you wanted to, sometimes your machine sounds very slow, etc. In that case, you want to restart your virtual machine, you have an option restart, or you can stop it as well. So it's up to you what exactly you want to do, but these are the operations which you can do. He- Okay, I will come here. There is another way of deleting machine. Okay, what you can do is you go to the resource group. Okay, so you type in here resource groups. Okay, so you get this resource group list. Here in this resource group, search for a resource group which we just created. Okay, so we created some. There are so many resource group I have. Let me just put down that specific resource group. So mission Azure fundamental. Okay, so when I go to this resource group, now you will see that resource group. It has these many resources got created. I created a virtual machine, but under the virtual machine, all these also get created. So it makes sense rather than just deleting the my this virtual machine. I should go ahead and delete this resource group so that other things which automatically got created with this virtual machine also get deleted. Okay, so you just click on this resource, delete resource group. It will ask you to give the name, copy this name and paste it and say delete. So what it will do is it will going to delete the resource group for you, and now you will not going to be charged for it. Okay, so that's the advantage of the cloud, that you can create, you can delete as per all your need. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now let's, so that's how we can create our resource virtual machine, and we can go ahead and delete it. Now let's talk about few some important stuff. Now the next so almost we're done with session, but there are few things which I want to talk around. Is like there's a lot of people who is facing challenges in getting the link and etc. So what I have done is I have created two WhatsApp group. Okay, I know we have a more than 250 people, so we might not accommodate in one group. So that's why I created two. You can go ahead and you can join this group so that all the notification you get on your WhatsApp itself. Okay. So I recommend join only one WhatsApp group, not both the one, because everything will flow same anyways. Okay. So join any one of them. That's fine. I'm just sharing this link on the chat itself. Uh, So this is the group link. You can join. I come here and I'll put it here. Okay. So now it is there in the chat. You can copy later on. Oh, I'm my bad. Let me do this way. I can share in the email as well, but a lot of people don't get an email. So that's the problem actually. But anyways, I'll try to send in the email as well. I have an email ID for all of you. Okay. And so just keep watch on your spam as well. Just mark it as no, not a spam, so that next time you get an email directly in your inbox. Okay, so that was about this WhatsApp group. Second thing which I want to talk is like, yesterday there was one question. The question was like, how can I get a job by doing this Azure, or what I can do to learn or earn big. Okay, in the Azure I also have a, so Asif, I also have a Telegram group. I will share the Telegram group link as well, or if somebody has already, they can share it here. Okay, coming back to the most important part of this course is like, you need to understand why we are learning this Azure and what can be done with this Azure. Okay, so there are majorly I've created four categories. Okay, look at this, just read this. You could be a Azure cloud developer, you could be an Azure data engineer, you could be an Azure data scientist, you could be an Azure DevOps admin. Okay, now you might say that, okay, I am a tester, okay, I am a QA professional, I am a Java professional, I am a .NET professional, I'm an Android developer, uh, I'm into some maybe in the business analyst or anything, how cloud can help me. Okay, so for all those folks, basically you are somewhere into this category of first, that is a cloud developer one. So see, you can see that in Azure or in any cloud, you cannot do anything just in one. You need something else, other skill as well. So Azure only will not be helpful. Azure plus something will be helpful. Either you could be doing development, creating application, and you can do it in the cloud. Either you could be a data engineer with the cloud, you could be a data scientist who can understand the cloud and you work in the data science, or you could have a DevOps, or a you want to be like DevOps guy, you wanted to be infrastructure admin, and you understand the cloud and you can manage it on the cloud. So basically, these are the four categories which belongs. Now you might, if you see the last three categories, data engineer, data scientist, and DevOps admin, is basically nothing but a very popular or a very hot profile at this point in time. Okay, at this moment everybody is moving towards a data engineering, data scientist, or a DevOps, because they are the the package or the salary which you can get in these profile could be much bigger, because the number of resources in this is very less, demand is quite high, and it's a niche technology still. Development, if you are a developer, that's fine, because you were doing a Java development so long. There are thousands, million, I feel like millions of developers out there. So the potential of a high package is not that good there. Job opportunity is there, but the potential is not that high. So ideally, I would recommend, go ahead. If you are at a developer role, probably you can pick any three of them. Either you could be data engineer, it could be data scientist, it could be DevOps admin. So that's why I said a kind of prerequisite for them. If you feel you belongs to these any of them or you like them, you can pick the next stream as per your need or as per your interest. Although you can also learn all those prerequisite as well, that is also possible. But that's what a very good comparison with somebody can get it, like whether I'll get, if I do this, whether I get a high package, whether a job opportunity is there, or what are the prerequisite. So I tried to keep everything into a one picture to show you. So this is the one of the picture which you can think of, and you can decide based on your word. If you are looking for a data engineer, I feel all the ETL developer guys, all the data warehousing guys who are into the SQL, or all the developers as well, who either from C++, Java, .NET, all they can easily move to the data engineering side, because the prerequisite is quite common, which is SQL, which anybody is using it. So I think one of the most easiest uh, profile with a very high paying in all of this is the data engineer. So I think somebody who is looking forward to go and upgrade themselves, upskill themselves, probably data engineer is one of the best field to be in. And the learning curve is quite less, so that is the biggest advantage you will have. Now, if you are interested in data engineering, you might have another question, like how you can become a data engineer, or how you become a good Azure data engineer. You need to know these things. You need data factory, you need Spark, PySpark, Databricks, you need to know Azure Synapse, Key Vault, storage account, or some other utilities. So basically, if you want to know the or want to become a data engineer, you need to know all these things. Okay, so that is specifically for Azure data engineer. Okay, so these you go ahead and learn from anywhere. If you want to join my mission, you can go ahead and join my mission. There I go and teach about each and every one of them, all the technology which I talked about for a data engineer. You can go ahead and join my this course, which is starting from 16th of July. And there also, just like this, I'll go live and I teach each and every concept there in this practical real manner, not a recorded one. So you can come forward and join this. If you join that course, you get all these concept building, hands-on practice, quizzes, assignment, You get the projects as well, which you can put in your resume to get the job. So that is also one of the biggest problem people will face, saying that I don't have any prior experience, why people will take me. So then these real world projects will help you to give you those dummy projects which you can put it in your resume and you can explain your knowledge. Okay. You get interview preparation, you get study materials, you get all those stuff which is needed to make you a proper data engineer. Okay. So you can go down to this URL ade.azurelib.com, and I will just put down this URL again in the chat as well, so that you can come and you can join there. So that is this ad.azurelab.com. So you can go ahead and you can check that. I'm sorry, it's taking time. Okay. Next thing which I wanted to talk here is, okay. So this is what about the Azure Data Engineering. You can do it from here on. Now that's what I wanted to share. Now let's come forward to your questions. Please come forward and ask your question. And secondly, I'm not going to do this on the streaming tomorrow. There will be a different URL. I don't want to go ahead on this streaming. So I want to be a interactive one. So I'll try to do something tomorrow. So keep join that WhatsApp group to get the link directly. Okay. I'll try to send again, so that please join it, because you'll get the link here. Okay. So join this group. I will send the next URL here, because I want to interact. I want to talk to you, and you can come forward and you can ask your questions and etc. So please, let me come here. Sorry. Yeah. So please, guys, you can come forward and ask your question. Go ahead. If anyone has any question. Ronak is asking, what is a prerequisite for the course? Prerequisite, as I said, is the SQL. If you know the SQL, you can join this Mission 100 program of Azure Data Engineer. I will make you a good or best Azure Data Engineer. So just only prerequisite is the SQL. If you know the SQL, rest all I will take care. Any course for Azure DevOps, Rohini? I'm sorry, I don't have any course on my own for the DevOps. Not for even for a data science. I have one course. I'm sorry, guys. For data science, I have one course. One of my friends take. He's a very expert and he's a very senior guy. So you can join his course if you are interested in data science. You can put down that in the WhatsApp group, and I will share the link for the data science group, data science course as well. Alekia, is SQL DB or SQL developer, sir? If I'm not aware of SQL, would you suggest any SQL course from Udemy or anywhere else? Pick any course. See, SQL is very basic thing. You don't need to spend more than 5-7 days to learn SQL. Get ready with the SQL and start with the course. This course is starting from the 16th July. I repeat, this is starting from 16th July. So you can come and join. Hardik is asking, all the corporate projects depending on Azure technology should be called as an OPEX. Mostly, yes, you can call it as an OPEX because you don't have an infrastructure setup. Indirectly, it is the infrastructure is still there. I would say indirect infrastructure is still there. Like you have to arrange for the sitting arrangement, you have to give them the laptops and etc. But the project specific infrastructure will be done on the Azure side. Okay, so that will be an OPEX, but the physical setup eventually some of them is needed to be done, which is a capex only, right? Or else if you go for like a co-work space or something like that, then it also will be an OPEX. Unable to join WhatsApp group, I don't know why. Did anybody try? Sheikh Yassine is saying he's not able to join the group. I'm not sure, I'm just checking on my phone. Give me a second, guys. I think a lot of people able to join, so that's fine. Okay. How much SQL depth in knowledge is required? Basic is required, Giri. nothing advanced is required on the SQL side. Okay, thank you guys. A lot of folks is able to join. So great, guys. Um, any more questions for me? Tell me, guys. Uh, if you have any more questions for me, we can discuss all of them. And I want also want to know your feedback, like the way we are learning this concepts. Are you enjoying it? Are you liking it? What is going on? Saurabh is asking up to how much depth Spark will be covered. It is up to the depth which is needed for to get a job. Okay, as I always say, I will make you job ready. Okay, so whatever is needed to crack a job, you will get that knowledge. Okay, I don't want to make you scientist. Okay, I don't want to make you a, a researcher on the Spark. I want to make you a Spark developer where you can crack a job interviews. Okay, to get the Spark jobs. So that much you will get to know. Deepika is asking, I have 12 years of experience in .NET SQL as a developer, and how will it be fine if I move to data engineering? It is perfectly fine, guys. You can go ahead and you can do it. In my last mission, people ranging from 2 years to the 18 years joined it, and they have learned so many new things. You can come down here, go to my LinkedIn profile as well. If you're not following me on the LinkedIn, guys, go ahead and follow me. Any demo available for before enrolling? Guys, this is demo is already going on. You are seeing how I can teach and what is my knowledge. So this is a kind of a demo only. But still, if you want anything specific, I will share. That's fine. So there is no problem. So you can come and join me here on the LinkedIn. I share so many things here, free stuff, everything, all those notification. Even what you can do is you can come down to my profile. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm showing messages sent by many people. Oh, my system got stuck. Anyways, okay. Come down here. Either you can get the link from here also. So you come down to my profile. You can get the link from here directly, or else what you can do is you can come here to my recommendation page, go down lastly, and you can see the recommendations of all those people who is already part of this course. So how much it has helped them, you can come and you can read their reviews. You get an idea that how much this could be helpful for you to transform your career, to learn big, to earn big. So you can come here and you can get all those feedbacks and you can get through it. Okay, the website mentioned that started is July. Yeah, I'm sorry, Devendra, this is my bad. I have not updated it correctly there. It's a 16 again, that is a Saturday. So on that Saturday we will going to start voiceover. When we create resources, how many places it get copied? Even so, resources, you are asking a very common question. In resources there are different type of resources. Virtual machine, you have a Azure storage when you copy the data. So it's different for different type of services. Okay. uh, Adarsh is asking, could you please specify the job duties also, I mean day to day work? So guys, this is different for a different profile. If you are a developer, you eventually you need to create your application, create REST APIs or anything like that. If you are doing data engineer, you have to go ahead and uh, create data pipelines, write your analytics logics, etc., monitor your pipelines. So it is different for different duties are different for different roles. Okay, data engineering class timing would be the same the way we are doing, so the morning only. So Malikarjun Komi is asking the timing for the data engineering will again be the same, like 8:15 in the morning. uh Charan is asking, what is the managed service in the Azure? Managed service is nothing but a service which is managed by the Azure. Like Azure will take care of The hardware, Azure will take care of the updates, installation. So all those things which is managed by the Azure, you call it as a managed Azure service. Okay, you don't take care of all these. Azure automatically manages for you. So that's a basic. There's a one thread I have already written on managed service. You can check my LinkedIn post. You will get it there. Neeraj is asking, I am from support background using SQL and Linux command and shell scripting. Which course is best for me? Neeraj, I think as you know both of these two things, I would say go ahead, do some research on Google, and try to read more about it. And whatever you feel comfortable or whatever is your interest, you can go ahead and make your career in that specific role. It's completely fine. Okay, there is no rush to for pick anyone. If you think you belongs to a multiple category, check out, do your uh, research something and get something, but don't spend months and months on researching what to learn. Okay, end of the day, there is no harm in learning something extra. Even if you're not getting going to do job in that, that is also fine. Learning will eventually gonna help you only. Okay, so don't spend time in just like deciding what to learn. Decide within 2 days, 3 days, go ahead and do it. Because I've seen people is like deciding for months and months like whether I should go and learn or not. Man, do you think so much when you eat pizza, when you go for a movie, or when you go for anywhere? You don't think so much, right? You spend your time like anything. So it's better to spend your time in learning something good. Okay, that will gonna help you only. Charan Singh can go for a DevOps. If you want to go for a DevOps, you can go ahead. Perfectly fine. If you like those managing the things or writing scripts, etc., infrastructure thing, you can go ahead and go with the DevOps. Devendra is asking, I am from a non-tech background. Will I be able to catch up with the course? I have little knowledge on the sequel. Yes, you can definitely catch up on the course. That's not a big thing. If you are able to catch up this course, you will be able to catch up that course also. No problem. Sir, how much course fee for AD is there? You can go ahead and check. It is out there. Uh, there are two different versions. If you go ahead, you're looking for a small option, you can go ahead and go for the pre-recorded courses. Or if you join live the way I am teaching you, you can go ahead and take the live class. So it's up to you which version you want to take. Alekia, you can pick any one of them. It's your call. Nikhil Garg, I am from a completely different background, although I have been learning Python from W3 World and AWS also. Can you please guide me how to go ahead with this point? You can see, as I said, you have to decide what you want to become. You want to just a developer, data engineer, data scientist, or DevOps. You have to pick a one stream, and then I can guide you. Which stream you should pick could be your choice. I feel like the easiest of all of them is like SQL, data engineering, because it is more rewarding, more number of job is there. So if I would prefer someone to get into this, because the turnaround time is quite low. So you can easily crack a job, you can easily learn it. So that's why I feel like data engineering is very well placed. You could go ahead and make a career in that. But it may be biased, look like biased, that I run the course for data engineering. It's not like that. I mean, I'm just saying in normal way, whether you join my course or not, that is not a problem. Learn it from anywhere. I will say, do it. My whole intention is to upgrade you and make your life better. So go ahead and keep learning anywhere. Any course is fine, but go ahead and do it. Don't stop yourself in a loop of like whether I should go ahead or which is best or which is not best. Pick anything and start learning, guys. Important is to learn, to grow. Okay, don't waste your time in just deciding the things. Firoz, nowadays so many cloud platforms emerged. After emerging, which one to select, like GCP, AWS, Azure? Again, you are getting into that loop again. Firoz, pick anything. I feel, as I said, logically Azure is one of the best place, because Azure is getting the market. penetration very high. Slowly it is moving very fast. It was late compared to the AWS. But you imagine, if I'm already using a Microsoft product, I will prefer another Microsoft product because integration would always be very easy for the organization, right? So they go ahead with the Azure only. So that's the advantage with the Azure. You companies are not using Google product, right? So Google cannot say that this integrate well with my existing product. But Microsoft always can go ahead and say that, okay, boss, you are using our SQL server, you are using our Dynamics 365, you are using Offices, you are using Excel, SharePoint, etc. So all of them will have a easy and a smooth integration with the Azure. So that's the advantage Azure has. So that's why I always say it's at this point of time, Azure is the best choice to go ahead. I'm sorry, somebody's messaging me. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Anything left which you wanted to discuss? So for tomorrow's session, keep watch on the WhatsApp group. I will share the link there. I will also share the Telegram group. You will get the link out there as well. For the folks who are seeing the recording of this course, I will repeat. Go ahead and join the group. You will get the notification in the group. Okay. Or else you can go ahead to go to the Fresh Learn account and you can get the there as well. Ronak is asking course syllabus, Python or Scala will be covered. Python, I will help you. I have a one course on the Python, so I'll give you that course free. If you join that data engineering, I'll give you the Python course free. You learn Python that, but I don't want to focus you on the Python, honestly. So don't lose the focus. Get into the data engineering. Python you can learn side by side. Okay. Syllabus is there on that link itself. You go ahead on that link, and there you will see the entire syllabus. You go to this link here and you will see the entire syllabus. Okay. Can you please share WhatsApp group link? Okay, WhatsApp group link already there. I will share it one more time, guys. Not a problem. Okay. So you come down here. Here you will see the difference between the pre-recorded version and the live classes. So you can check this differences out there. Basically, you will not get the project course, which is important in the pre-recorded version. You get it in the live course. Although you can buy this separately, this project course. And if you want to check out the syllabus, you come down and at the end you will see all this entire course. You can also get to know a little bit about me. Okay. This full curriculum. So here is the full curriculum. You get it. What we are going to cover in this Azure Data Engineering course. This is a 3 month long course. Okay. So it will go run for a next 3 months. So it's not a small course. It's an entire 3 months course. Okay. So you get everything here. So what will be the topic that needed to be covered? We'll see here. Okay. Shiva is asking, I come from a manual QA background. Can you please help me if I can catch up with this course? As I said, Shiva, if you can manage the learning your SQL on your own, then rest all I will manage for you. So you come up with me with the basics of SQL and rest I will take care. Okay? Don't worry. Harsha is asking, recently I joined DevOps course and side by side I learned Azure. Is it fine? See, I don't know which DevOps you are doing. So these days, without cloud, you should not do anything. Even if you are learning a DevOps, you should learn with the either AWS DevOps or Azure DevOps. You have to decide which one you are learning. If you are going with the Azure DevOps, then you can then it's fine to learn the Azure as well. Uh, Shekhar is asking what is the session timings. The same timing, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and the same time which we are doing now. Okay, so the same timing will be there. Is weekend course or weekdays or weekends? So weekend only, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, like this. Okay. Uh, Ranganathan is, can we use Azure VM in Mac? I think you can use Azure virtual machine in the Mac as well. Yeah, timing is the same. Shekhar, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, in the same time. Girish is saying it is virtual machine is getting the error as size is not available. I have tried with all the reason. What I do, I think this has something needed to be done with your subscription. Change, try with the USC zone and pick the lowest machine. That's what I could say. So pick at the lowest size of the machine, okay, which is like 1 GB and one core, and try that. I think that should work. I have sorry to bother again. One more question. Deepika is asking if anyone, even from a non-IT background, can learn it easily. Then how the experienced person will outstand? I'm sorry, Deepika. Even if you learn, you can do it. Like as far as the your question is concerned, outstand as a data engineer, you can put use do some dummy projects. As you coming from a non IT background, you might have to put little more effort compared to the guys who are already into the IT background. But you learn, you implement, and you are ready with your resume to crack the job. There is no prerequisite as such. You think like that. Azure is how old? How old is the Spark? Hardly 7 8 years old, not more than that. Okay, guys, this is not a technology which is there from like decades. All this is a new technology. So even when a recruiter has to go for a hunting for a proper data engineer or anyone, they won't find a 10 years experience IT data engineer, because 10 years ago it was not there, right? So it's recently coming in, and all these technologies are recent. Okay, so even if you have a less experience, it's counted, because in the market there is no one out there who is having a 15 years of experience in Azure or in the Azure data engineering, because all these Azure is like popular from last 7 8 years only, right? So even recruiter also not able to find a good resources. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. It is not like something like a manual testing or something like a Java which is there in from last 20 years. It's not like that. This technology is niche in itself. Okay, trust me. Okay, you go ahead, you check the you can go ahead and you check it, like the when this technology got evolved, and you get to know that when this got launched and when people started using it. It's very new, very new. Like you see Spark launch, when the Spark got is Spark history. You go ahead and check like when the Spark come into picture and when it started using people. So you get an idea. Like in 2010 it was very initially launched, but the stable version you will see like somewhere started in the 2013. Okay, so it's not that old. Deepak, are you going to share the link to join the WhatsApp group later today? I already shared it. I will again share it. This is the WhatsApp group. I share it again here, guys. Go ahead and join this WhatsApp group. Pick any one of them, it's fine. Don't join both of them. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah, I will share the Telegram group link as well. I don't have it handy here, but I will share in the WhatsApp group itself. Okay. Ronak is asking, I am new to cloud. Will it be covered from zero to scratch? I'm intermediate level in the Hadoop since working as a Kafka admin. If you're talking about the data engineering course, you don't have to worry about it. I keep it from very basic. Okay. So no prior knowledge is needed. Don't worry. Thank you, Shiva. Ranganathan has another question. Sir, in my organization, in organization, VMs are opened via Citrix as well, right? So is that a cloud service? Is Azure the only way to open a VM? No, there are a lot of cloud providers is there. So and many times you get the Citrix machine that is kind of a private cloud as well. So like all those data centers and everything is within the organization itself, and they are uh, creating their own private cloud and giving you the accesses. So that could be the private cloud also. Okay, any more questions left, guys? All good? Shall we close the session? It's already 10:05. So we have overrun our meeting quite long. If any more questions left, if I have not answered anyone question, it's possible. Okay, Madhu's question is there. I know basic ADF, Azure Synapse, and Azure Basic Fundamental. I'm eligible to learn data engineering. Perfectly fine. You are eligible. You are more than eligible. Okay. Pallavi, how can I go back and change the size in the region? Once I think uh, you can go back and change the size. I think that's possible, but your VM gets stopped and it has to take backup and all. So it's possible to change the size. How do we get practice on Azure with minimum cost involved? So this is the way, Pallavi, sorry, Firoz is asking. You create a resource, practice it, delete it right away. That's how you can do. Uh, I'm unable to create. Okay, this. Okay, Ramesh, I don't know a lot of people able to join the WhatsApp group. You are not. Just check out the link again and see. I think we all are good, guys. Yesterday I asked for the donation. If you want to do, few folks has done it. Thank you so much for doing it. If still someone is out there who want to do donation for this free social service, you can go ahead and you can do it on this. And thank you so much who has done few donation yesterday. Thank you very much. Uh, for Azure, how much cost and we expect for learning purpose, as I said, not more than 10-20 dollars. So it will be like in Indian rupees, it could not ideally should not be more than 1,000 rupees. And even for 1 month is free. I'm talking about after 1 month. Okay. Okay, so group one is already full. Like it's like 250 people. Do we got this 250 people in that group? Amazing if we had it. No, I think I cannot see 250 people. Okay, it's quite less. I don't know. I mean, you guys check, but please don't join both of the group. Join only one group. Okay. Asif, thank you, Asif. Uh, uh, Saeed, you are asking, please don't remove it. I don't know what you are asking to remove. Okay, you can clarify. Vijay is asking, I can suggest any can you suggest any SQL source to learn in Udemy? Uh, I'll suggest something. I'll check it out and I'll suggest something for the Udemy, the lowest. I'll suggest. Okay. Oh, group one is full. Great, guys. So we've got 250 participants there. I see saying just 73 people. Okay. Uh, Fine, guys. Any more questions left? Please let me know right away, or otherwise I'll stop here. Quickly, guys. Mm, or if I have not answered anyone's question, they can repeat the question as well. Firoz, I already have a Telegram group. Azure Tips, Tricks, the name like that. You can go ahead and you can check it out. Any more questions, guys? I think I have seems like I answered all the questions. If anyone has any question left, please put on. I don't want like to miss anyone's question if they have. Okay. Ayush has question between stop and delete. Stop, ideally, a very good question. What is the difference between when you stop a VM and you delete a VM? Once you delete a VM, all the resources will get stopped out, and you will not going to charge anything. In the this is for the delete case. In the stop case, this has happened to me. Ideally, when you stop a service, you have to pay, not pay for the computation power, but for all the storages, etc. You still gonna have to pay. But I had this bad experience with the Digital Ocean. I stopped their service, feel like that it's not going to cost me, but Digital Ocean cost even when your services are stopped. Okay, I think Azure Virtual Machine don't cost you when you stop it. Still, you have to pay for the storage and other part. Okay, so ideally, if you don't want to pay a single penny, delete it, don't stop. Okay. Do we get recording for the paid courses? Yes, you will get a paid courses, you get the recording entirely. Raja, as I am not available in July for the AD course, will there be another course for AD in coming months? This course will run for 3 months, so I will not going to start any new batch for that until unless this will get complete. Okay, so this the batch which is starting from 16 July will go for 3 months. Okay, you can join in between if you like. Okay, because you will have a recording with you. You can see that recording and join in. We have just 3 sessions in a week, not more. Okay. Thank you, Firoz, for appreciating. You can go ahead and write recommendation on the LinkedIn if you're liking my work. You can endorse me few skills. You can shout out. All this will be highly appreciated. At least I feel you can do that. Okay. I think no questions left as much. So thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you tomorrow. You will get the link in your WhatsApp group. And whoever is seeing this recording, I request go down and under the chat and see the WhatsApp group link is out there. I will try to put that WhatsApp group link in the description as well. But the moment I put it on description, like it will get filled up because it will be on the YouTube, and I don't want to do that. So just look at the chat, do it. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. See you tomorrow. Keep eye on your WhatsApp group and share a good word on the LinkedIn as well. Thank you. Bye, guys.